The FBI believes this man is a danger to our country. He has made threats to shoot police and called the Oklahoma City bomber his hero. But his family calls him a patriot. And now for the first time, Schuyler Barbeau is speaking out from behind bars at the SeaTac Federal Detention Center. He grew up in Stanwood, served in the military, and then joined the Patriot movement.
Barbeau is part of a vocal group of people who believe the government must be held in check. He talked only with Cairo 7 and asked him the question, are you a threat to this country?
I knew this was coming one day. I speak out against government tyranny and injustice. And eventually, when you speak out loud enough for long enough, the government's going to notice you. And I got myself noticed.
In a place where prisoners often watch what they say.
This call is from a federal prison.
Inmate number 46153-086 is unfiltered and unabashed in his beliefs.
I speak my mind. I don't beat around the bush.
I got this recording now.
For the first time since his arrest for owning this illegal assault rifle,
the Second Amendment says the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Schuyler Barbeau is sharing his defense and his determination to uphold the Constitution.
What's the definition of arms? Well, arms is any weapon. Swords, knives, guns, missiles, anything is arms. It's an all-inclusive term. And the gun that I had, the rifle that I had, falls under that definition of arms. So I have the right to keep and bear it.
Barbeau's public comments about bearing arms are part of the government's case against him. An FBI confidential informant claims he threatened to lynch public servants, remove a judge, and shoot law enforcement officers.
Saying stuff about shooting law enforcement or whatever, yeah, I did say that stuff. But anytime I said anything like that, it was purely in self-defense. I would never hurt anybody. And any of my friends and family, anybody that knows me, could testify to that I'm not out to try to hurt people. But I will defend myself.
To better understand the physical and philosophical transformation of Schuyler Barbeau requires going back in time to a humble beginning on the flag-lined streets of Stanwood in Snohomish County.
He was kind of quiet.
A boy who struggled in school, but drew a clear distinction between right and wrong.
He was very strong-willed, and he had a very strong sense of what he felt was right.
The Barbeau family worshipped at the local Assemblies of God Church, and Schuyler attended youth group at Calvary Chapel on Camano Island.
We were all raised to be Christian and to believe in God and to believe in Jesus Christ, and that was his foundation. His second Bible became the Constitution.
After leaving Stanwood High School, Barbeau joined the Marines, then the National Guard as a demolitions expert.
I think it was within the National Guard where he started maybe rubbing shoulders with some of these folks who in these kind of more patriot movement kind of groups. And I think there he started, his eyes were starting to be more unveiled to what's been going on in the government.
In their case against him, the government says Barbeau told a confidential informant he stole blasting caps and detonation cord from the National Guard and hid them somewhere in the thick brush off this road in Monroe.
They say that he stole some and has possession
Allegedly.
of them and has the intention to use them to blow up federal facilities or whatever, to use them in a negative way.
Schuyler Barbeau's knowledge of explosives, combined with a Facebook post praising Oklahoma City bomber Timothy McVeigh, provide the government with a troubling narrative. In an October 12th post, Barbeau wrote, "That guy that killed 168, yeah, he's my hero. He's the only person I know that didn't like how the federal government is and actually did something against them." Those comments are part of the FBI's case.
We recently arrested an individual on a domestic terrorism charge, and that has caused us some concerns in the sense that are his followers or his friends, how are they going to react?
Yes, you FBI people, I hope you're proud of what you're doing.
The reaction from Barbeau's friends was immediate indignation with a call for action, like this one we discovered online.
Semper Fi, Schuyler. We're coming, brother. We're coming.
Are you, Schuyler, a danger as you've been portrayed to the public?
Not to the public. Only to those who wish to do harm. I consider myself to be like a sheepdog against the wolves.
You need to make your lap bigger, Schuyler.
Schuyler's desire to protect people against the wolves became increasingly fervent 2 years ago, when Nevada rancher Cliven Bundy and his supporters clashed with federal law enforcement over federal grazing rights. Barbeau left the National Guard, his job at Boeing in Everett, and his passion for bodybuilding to become Bundy's personal bodyguard.
Wherever Cliven went, Schuyler went.
Another vehicle approaching.
Barbeau also felt a calling to protect the U.S.-Mexico border. He joined the federal fight over Sugar Pine Gold Mine in Oregon. Showed up to protect the owner of an animal rescue ranch in Anacortes, targeted by animal rights groups, and challenged public officials in Skagit County who he believed weren't legally in office.
Commissioner, no signature. Another commissioner, no signature.
This is Schuyler's life. This is his reputation. And in 10 seconds, you can totally destroy everything that that person is about. They try to create a profile, and they pick and choose bits and parts of people's lives, and they say, oh, this person, oh, he has, Schuyler has a really long beard now. Oh, he has a long beard, and he was a demolitions expert in the Marine Corps. He's a trained killer, and now he's out, he's toting guns and looks, he's a bodybuilder, he's pursuing a career in bodybuilding, and so he fits the profile of what they want to label him as, a domestic terrorist.
As Barbeau waits for his trial in May, the government builds its case against a man who they believe is dangerous.
The only people I'm a threat to are people that have evil intents. Bad guys, if you want to call them that. So I try to avoid violence at all costs, because I don't like violence. But I will defend myself, and I will defend others against injustice.
And Barbeau is scheduled to go on trial for the weapons charge in May. At this point, he is planning to represent himself. If convicted, he could be sentenced to 10 years in prison. For those of you who want to hear more, we have posted the entire unedited interview with Schuyler Barbeau on KIRO7.com.